Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's Motions Biz here, and a very pleasant good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. And I continue to thank you for following the channel and supporting the channel, even if there are times when I go hibernate a little bit. Anyway, I just noticed that more and more Navy Federal members are getting an initial credit limit of $30,000. Now, if you are one of them, please write that down in the comment section. So when this first happened a few months ago, late last year, there were folks who started to get approved for $30,000 as an initial credit limit on their first ever credit card with Navy Federal. And you can actually do this. This is very possible. And I will share with you some hacks and tips on how you can do this, even if you are a beginner or you are a new member with Navy Federal. Now, of course, let's be realistic about the fact that this can also depend on your existing credit profile. Okay? Now, if you have a decent personal credit profile or you have already started building up your credit profile with Navy Federal and you have not reached that 3 credit card limit yet with Navy Federal, now you can still work on this. So on your next credit card, you may be able to get the $30,000 credit limit. I have 5 items that I have listed here that can really work for you if you do this and be proactive with your account with Navy Federal. So let's say you are a new member of Navy Federal. This is really worth doing right away. And if you are already doing this, if you are a current member and already have a few credit cards, just check off some of the things here that you haven't done yet. So this is for those who are very new to Navy Federal and have not had a credit card yet. But of course, like I said, this can also work for you who are already with Navy Federal and just wants to have that additional credit card with a high limit with Navy Federal. So number one thing to remember, and what the first thing that you have to do with Navy Federal that really makes a big difference in building your internal credit score and your profile with Navy Federal is doing a direct deposit. And I know that this has been discussed many times in the past with different videos that is shared on here. And I have also discussed this in many of the videos that I have made, especially when you are a new member. The thing with Navy Federal is they love direct deposit. When you do direct deposit, it shows that you have the ability to repay whatever credit you owe. And also, it just shows that you have income, because when they evaluate you or assess you for a credit card, remember, employment and income really counts. And they would ask that whenever you ask for a credit limit increase or apply for a new credit card. You might ask, what if I am not employed? I am self-employed. What can I do? Now, even if you are self-employed, and I know that a lot of you here are business owners and are very savvy with how you work your finances. Okay, now just make regular deposits if you can. In fact, in intervals is pretty good. Every 15 days, every 2 weeks, every week. In fact, it does not have to be big deposits as long as you show that activity. And this has really helped a lot of business owners out there, that there is income coming to your checking account. And a common question I get is that, what if I am employed and I already have direct deposit with another bank? Okay, what you can do is you do not have to deposit the whole amount of your pay to Navy Federal. You can just arrange it with your company so direct deposit can also be deposited with Navy Federal. But if it was me, I would actually deposit a larger amount with Navy Federal, because that credit union gives you a better chance and is quite generous with credit cards and loans that you can avail later on. So with direct deposit, even a portion of your pay is more than enough, as long as it is there regularly. And of course, you can still make smaller deposits every time. Let's talk about number 2. Now, if you are able to open a flagship checking account, then do so. Okay, it does not have to be, but if you want a bigger chance for the high limit credit cards and the flagship credit card later on, the flagship checking account can be very helpful. Now, the flagship checking account, the difference between a regular checking account and a flagship checking account is that with the flagship checking account, you have to maintain a daily balance of $1,000. Now, if you are not able to maintain that, you just have to pay the fee of about $10 every month for that. Now, for some people, that may be worth it, or for some folks, it may not be worth paying that $10 monthly to maintain that. So it's a matter of a personal choice and how you want to manage or build your profile with Navy Federal. So that's an option that I just had to mention. When I started with Navy Federal, I did not have a flagship checking account. All I had was a regular account, but I had two of them. It was a joint account with a family member and a personal account that is just myself. So anyway, so you still have that choice, but I just had to mention this because if it improves your chances for that high limit, then of course, I want to make sure that you are able to optimize your chances. Number 3 is I have always discussed this in many of my videos. And the reason why I love these two small accounts with Navy Federal is that it adds to your number of products that you have with Navy Federal. And I know I did this with mine, with my account when I was building my credit profile with Navy Federal. And I just know it has helped me so much. So this may be very simple and it's so easy to get them started because it will only cost you a total of $55 to open these two accounts. And you can do this directly from your Navy Federal app. And that is the Save First account and the Easy Certificates account. And hopefully a lot more new members would really take advantage of this because it is something that can really get you to that road of building your internal profile with Navy Federal. The Save First account is like a forced savings, okay? It is savings that you are not able to get until the maturity date. And with mine, what I did was I did that for 12 months. Certificates account, you can start with only $50. And the Save First account, you can start with $5. So what I did with my Save First account was I made small deposits every week, every few days from my checking account and just transferred it to that account. So I started building that account and it was easy to do because all you have to do is just make a transfer from your checking account, your regular checking account to these accounts. So with the Easy Certificates account, I did the same thing. I just kept adding up amounts as I went. And if I remember right, I had a total of about $200 plus on each account by the time I got approved for the Cash Rewards credit card for $25,000. But that's what I did, showing activity, showing deposits, and I had my direct deposit as well. So try to open these two accounts if you have not done that yet. And if you are new to Navy Federal and you want to add the number of products that you use with Navy Federal, because that is a determinant actually when they assess you for credit worthiness when it's time for you to get approved for a credit card. That is one thing that they will look at, how many products with Navy Federal you're using. So again, Save First account and the Easy Certificates account. Number 4, very important tip that you can do with Navy Federal because it also builds your personal credit profile. And as soon as possible, if you are a new member, you can get this started on that first week or that second week with Navy Federal, just depending on your personal credit profile. But even if you already have credit cards with Navy Federal but has never done a pledged loan, do it right now, okay? Now, why the pledged loan? The pledged loan is an installment loan. It is categorized as an installment loan, but it does count so much to your credit mix. And even if the credit mix is only about 10 to 15% of your personal credit score, but having that mix there and being able to report on-time payments on your personal credit profile, because the pledge loan does report to your personal credit profile as an installment loan. And because of the pledge loan hack, and I have so many videos about the pledge loan hack, I will also include a link to the playlist there. With the pledge loan, the minimum is $250. Now that will take you up to 6 months. That means it will be reporting on your personal credit profile for about 6 months. Now, when you do the hack, that is paying off about 90% of that loan and just leaving that small amount there until the term of that pledge loan, that will show and report on-time payments on your personal credit profile. Now, if you do $501 and more, that takes you up to 12 months. So that means 12 months of reporting on your personal credit profile. When your personal credit profile improves, that also boosts your chances with Navy Federal when you apply for those credit cards and those loans, because they still consider your personal credit profile. So the pledge loan hack is really a great product from Navy Federal because it is a great credit booster. If you are able to, the fund that you use for the pledge loan, it does not really get tied up with the pledge loan because you can pay it down early and those funds can be back to your savings account. Number 5, and last but not the least, is be proactive with your accounts with Navy Federal, and that is doing all those accounts, opening those accounts, using your ATM, making purchases, but also making regular deposits, and keeping those accounts that you have already opened active, like the Save First account and the Easy Certificates account. And when it is time for you to request a credit card, whether it is your first credit card or it is an additional credit card, just make sure that you also do the pre-qualification tool, okay? Now, many folks have different opinions about doing the pre-qual, but there is a reason why it's there. Try to check first which credit cards you qualify for before you apply. I have done that myself. I always did the pre-qualification tool before I applied for any of the credit cards. So good luck with your $30,000 limit from Navy Federal. So anyway, this is Motions Biz again. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for supporting the channel.